Sports Show, repeated Saturday mornings with Jason the Flowman.
Really exciting times for country sport across South Australia and Victoria.
Football and netball in country Australia is life.
Each week, tackling the big talking points in country footy and netball.
He's a ripper. He tries his guts out every time, and we love playing with boys like that.
This is an arch rivalry that goes back generations.
The teams, the ins, the outs, the key matchups, and the big games of the round.
Pinaroo have been recruiting brilliantly.
When it comes September, he gives another gear, that boy, and up and about the way he goes.
It's all about the mental toughness. You're going to be challenged.
Friday nights and repeated Saturday mornings covering your local footy and netball leagues.
That is true. It is a record that will never be broken.
4 footy sides in, all 4 win their grand finals. It's never been done.
They did it with absolute class.
The Friday Night Sports Show with Jace and Wayne the Flowman on your colour of sporting country life. Flow FM.
Yes, we are back again into the second hour of the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. And it gets full on from this point on. Football, and more football. And the Flowman as well, who is here alongside of me. Flowman, big couple of hours ahead.
Oh, I'll tell you what, we are so excited about getting started with Western Eyre. It is going to be massive because we got the big clash. It is premiers out of the Midwest and then taking on the premiers out of the Far West, now amalgamated into Western Eyre, and the big game we've been waiting for all season. Brad Bowman on that soon.
We don't get this very often. I can't wait to talk about that with Brad. Also, the showdown this weekend in South Australia, and Port Adelaide have fired the first couple of shots. Their footy boss, Chris Davies, reckons the Crows are jealous. The Crows are jealous of Port Adelaide. That's the rivalry. Apparently, they did a bit of a history lesson, the Power Boys, which you have to do, given that half the Port Adelaide squad's from Melbourne. So that's fair enough.
I tell you what, there is one thing that Port have got going for them, and that is that any of their garments that they have are nowhere near as bad as that yellow top that I told you last week not to wear ever again.
I broke it out again. I had to bring it back in.
The horse covers back.
Yep, I had to bring it back in. I've got the Crows shirt underneath it as well. Nearly wore in the big moppy hair, but I can't get that underneath the headphones. So never mind. We've got lots going on. The only thing worse than the Crows last week was my tipping, but that's a topic for another day.
Yeah,
too.
I'll tell you what, no, it's not a topic for another day.
Yeah, no, we're going to leave that alone.
Top of the table you were.
We've got to leave that alone.
Dropped down to 4th. I'm in second still. Dan Crouch.
Do you want me to tell you the truth?
Look, you've dropped down the ladder faster than Collingwood have this year.
That's true, but do you want me to tell you the truth? I was getting bored.
Oh, you were not.
I was getting bored. It was. I had to give you guys some sort of hope.
Do you know,
moping around the studio, Flowman, it was pathetic.
Look, do you know what? If you hadn't have tipped, you would have got more than what you did tip.
I'm well aware of that, Flowman.
Hey, we've got a fantastic night tonight because we are going to be getting to Kim Vivian on BLNG. There is some really, really good games of football coming out of the BLG. It is top level, top shelf. We're moving through into Yorke Peninsula and Adelaide Plains. We're going to have a look at Northeastern. We've got Peter Meyer joining us, and what a competition that's turning out to be. Big upsets. Barossa, like Gawler's got some big games, but up there in the Northeastern, there's been some very, very good comps.
Southeast, KNC, what about some results down there? Can't wait to talk to Sammy Grants about that. We've got Mallee footy as well, getting down to Tintinara myself tomorrow to call a game down there. Looking forward to it. It's such a big show, Flo, man. We've got plenty to get through, so let's waste no more time. Let's get straight into it. It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, Western Eyre Football with Brad Bowman next.
Great Batch Agencies. You need some mechanical repairs done, mate? Yeah, we're here for the job. Of course we can do your truck. We repair all vehicles. You want a new trailer too? Yeah, mate. We stock the best trailer co in all sizes. Your air conditioner's playing up again. We'll sort you. If you can't come into the workshop, we'll meet you out on the farm. We've got everything a farmer needs.
Great Batch Agencies Wirralur. A great batch of products for a great batch of farmers. 8626 8021.
IGA Thevenard has great service and savings for you on groceries, meats, deli lines, fresh fruit and veg, and at convenient opening hours. 8 till 8, 7 days a week. With more than 800 weekly specials from IGA to help with the family budget. Also new lines, including ready-to-eat pizzas, Nature's Protein, JC Nut Range, ready-made salads and more. Delivering grocery orders to Far West farmers, stations, roadhouses and missions. Plus phone orders and delivery for minimum $100 in Ceduna and Thevenard. Shop with the locals at IGA Thevenard. opposite Bevy Oval, or phone 8625 2175.
Rob Montgomery, your local earth-moving specialist serving the West Coast. Got solid rock on your property? Rob has the rock breaker and all the gear to crush them, including a 22-tonne excavator and a breaker for trenching rocks. Need to dig a new septic or house and shed preparation? Rob is the man to call. Or if you need the equipment, Rob has four-wheel loaders, bobcats, water tankers, semi-side tippers, road trains and low loaders for hire. If you've got a mountain of work, call Rob Montgomery today, 0427 060 755.
The Flow FM Sports Show, Western Eyre Football.
It is the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. Bit of a false start, but never mind. We're back. We're about to talk Western Eyre football. I can tell you, Flo, man, just before we bring in Brad Bowman, there is a football here in the studio. Now, where did this come from? I'll give you some details about it, listeners, in a moment, but where did it come from?
I can say that it's a signed copy of a Sharon football by the Port Adelaide Football Club, balancing things up here a little bit, given that you've got that gargantuan-looking crow's top that you keep on wearing.
Just some facts about it, by the way. It's filthy, first of all.
Yep.
So
it's because it's got ink all over it.
Yep. Sponsored by Oak, apparently, which is the second best milk flavour in South Australia behind Farmers Union, who sponsor the Crows.
Yep.
And it's also, this football apparently is deflated, which is about right, and made in India. So that can go. That's no good. That's out of here.
He's thrown the power out the studio, but I'll tell you what, we're not going to throw their next guest out. It's Brad Bowman. He's talking the excitement of the Western Eyre competition. And Brad, how are you?
I'm good. How are you tonight?
Real good. How excited has the conversation been? I've had a bit of connection to Streaky, and I know that in the main street of Sejuna and out at Penong, there is a lot of discussion about the big game this weekend.
There's lots of interest, and it is really the battle of the reigning premiers from the former competitions, and they're going to have a real big battle, and it's going to be bragging rights.
No doubt about that.
Well, we've got bragging rights here in the studio. He's just thrown the power football out, and the Crows Guernsey is now being worn resplendently. But let's look at last week's bragging rights, because the Western United club beat Thevenard 12-84 to 2-3-15. Brad, how did you see the boys from Penong and their victory over the Black and White?
They did what they had to do to win. One of the umpires was telling me that it wasn't a great, exciting match, and really a bit of keepings off from each other, not a lot of attacking. So they did what they had to do. They were probably a few players short, Western United, but they still got the job done.
They did indeed. Thevenard didn't kick a goal after quarter time. They were only a goal down at the first change, and from there it was pretty much all Western United. But goal kickers for Westies, it was Elliott 4, Shippard 3, Polkinghorn 2. Warmington, Shippard, Woods and Hoffricker named their best. For Thevenard, it was Denton, Charles and Threadgold named their best.
Yeah, good players on the day. Other matches in senior football, we've had what we call the Dolling Watch here at the Flow, and he was certainly one to watch when his side, the West Coast Hawks, kicked 29-17, 191 to Kaniba 7-9-51. And Brad, tell us just how this eventuated.
Yeah, Kaniba were very undermanned. I think they played with 18 players on Saturday. A few people came up and had 2 games from the Colts in the B grade, and at times they had copped a couple of injuries. They only had 16 out on the field, so they played the game out, but it was all one-way traffic for the Hawks.
That's not good news for Kaniba, but as we look through the goal kickers, Dolling watched 12 of them. Kobe Colbung against one of his old sides, I think, kicked 6. Lovegrove 3, Kelsh 3, Whitford 2. Whitford, Kelsh, Dolling, Colbung, all named in the best. And for Kaniba, Miller was tried hard, Betts and Wanganeen as well. So well done to those boys.
Yeah, Comai and the better players there too. The 2 Kelsh boys for the West Coast Hawks showing what they can do. And Aidan Whitford, that name synonymous with success in past eras of the West Coast Hawks. And I'll tell you what, if his name's in the best players, look out, because the veteran can still get a footy and kick it beautifully. Wirrala kicked 9-6-60 and they got it enough to beat the Blues 7-11-53. Brad Bowman, Wirrala have done this and won this game with the side that maybe bolstered this week with a lot of new players. We'll talk about that a bit later, but how did you see this win for Wirrala in this competition?
Yeah, again, talking to one of the umpires after the game, he said it was a great game of footy, really goal for goal, and it could have really gone either way. So maybe a little bit of an upset, but not so surprising. They are a good team, Wirrala, especially at home.
Bit of a breeze at play there, obviously, with the Blues went in a couple of goals up at quarter time. Wirrala kicked 5-1 in that second term. They were held goalless in the third and then kicked away in the last to win by just the 7 points. So Webb 3 for the Bombers, Gum 2, Best 2. And named on as best, Mitchell Gum, Chester, Holmes and Ross, along with Crabb. For the Blues, Williams was their only multiple goal kicker on the day. Elphick, Coleman, Chandler, Williams and
Lambeth. Yes.
I had to look around the screen there. I wasn't sure if that was Lambeth or Lambeth. It's Lambeth. Apparently, he was named in the best.
Yes, and nicely said. Now, let's have a look through the grades because in the twos football competition, we had Western United thrash Thevenard 12-12 to no score. West Coast Hawks got done by Canberra 6-7 43 to 5-6 36. That's a big upset there in the twos, wouldn't you say, Brad?
Not so much. Canberra are traditionally very strong in the B grade, and you look at their best players, they were all young lads who were straight out of Colt, so I think they really had those legs that would have got Canberra over the line.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's Hollett, Johns and Elliott for West Coast Hawks. Rankin, Edwards and Dodd for Canberra, and Bridley was successful in being a multiple goal scorer. Wirrala in the twos, 8-4-52. They went down to the Blues, 9-5-59. And gee, that's a close match of football again in reserve grade football, and looking forward to more of that through the season. As we go to the 17s, Brad, just a quick comment. Western United, way too good for Thevenard, 19-14 to 3-2.
Yeah, they got some really big older lads that go up and play B grade and A grade, and they're really going to be one of the leading teams this year in the under-17s.
Indeed, and it was goal kickers, Nichols 6, Polkinghorne 6. Polkinghorne and Nichols named best for them.
Yeah, and when you play that well together, it must have been handing off and passing on. Canberra 20 goals, 13, too good for the West Coast Hawks, 1 point. Now, Brad, this is a very one-sided comp there in the 17s. For the West Coast Hawks to be nailed by that much is unbelievable.
Yeah, again, the Canberra side have got just that top end of players that are at that age group when it's their last year, and they're a really good team, and those boys are actually going up and filling up their A grade and B grade, so yeah, they're a leading team, certainly Canberra.
Yeah, what about Dunnett? He did it. 9 goals, and Boland, Dunnett and Ware, they showed their wares on this big win for Canberra. It was T. Kenny, Arbrowen and Bagnall Smith, the better players. So well done to young Ty Kenny, being named his side's better player. And in the Blues game against Wirrala, it was Wirrala 12-5-77 to Blues 9-3-57. And gee, this is a big win by the Bomber boys. Got to say, young Gum, another Gum. Look at that, another one.
F Gum.
Yeah, this one, yes, 6 goals. He's a gun.
Gum is a gun. Best was second best, and Pittaway was third best.
And Gum 6 and Best 3, and Hazeldine 2 for the Blues. He was their best player. Young Thompson kicked a couple too for them. And let's just quickly have a look at what happened in the 14-year-old age group. And Brad, the side that come out here and did the job was Western United. They kicked the Thevenard off the oval. How do you see the kids from out at Westies at this age group?
Again, they've got those bigger boys, and they're going to be right up there heading into the end of the season.
Reckon they will be. Young Shippard's a good player, and Scott and Phipps. Blanchard is the other one. What about this, though? It was West Coast Hawks 4-3, beating Canberra 3 straight kicks in that 14-year-old match. And then, look at this, big fella, 15-14, 104, the Blue Boys, Wirrala 1-1-7. I reckon if it's Western United in the under-14s have got the other clubs measure, well, the Blue Boys will have something to say about that.
Looks that way. They were far too good. So, good stuff. I can't wait to talk about next week's matches, Bo. But first, goal kickers here, Thompson and Thompson. J. Thompson kicked 3, L. Thompson kicked 2, and they were named in the best as well, along with Best, Pittaway, Gill and Slattery for the Bombers.
Yeah, good stuff. Brad, this has been what we've all been waiting for this week. It is a huge weekend of country football and Western Eyre football in particular. We've got to round 4 action, and we've got some brilliant games of football before us. First up, Wirrala. They take on Canberra at the Wirrala Oval. And Brad Bowman, breaking the news, we're led to believe that Wirrala might be making some changes to last weekend's side.
Yeah, they've got quite a few boys heading back to college, a couple of injuries and a few people unavailable with work. So they've made 9 changes this week. So, significant.
9 changes. Any of those names that you can give us? Obviously, the best boys have probably gone back to college.
Yeah, Simon Webb, their leader goal kicker, he's out. Darcy Best, Mackenzie Best, Jesse Pittaway, another Colt, Yanni Kosminski, Andrew Bitmead, Fraser Gummick, another one back at school, I assume, William Mayhew and Jack Evans.
Oh, wow. Canibba, is their side fairly stable from last week, although be it that it was done by a big margin by the West Coast Hawks? So how do they look?
It's going to be a little bit stronger talking to one of their players today, but still a lot of key players are still unavailable or injured, so their best is still yet to come. All right. Who do we tip? I'd say the Bombers, but maybe 5 goals.
Ooh.
Won't be much in it.
I'm not sure.
Bombers for me.
Is it a warm day too? Is it weather conditions? It's been pretty blustery. How does it look up there on the far west coast?
It's dry, and it's going to be a warm day. Not too much wind, so that'll really suit the Canibba boys to get their running game going.
Yeah, I'm going to tip a little upset here. I'm going to go with Canibba here with all those changes. A lot of real talent coming out of Wirrallah. Canibba, I think, could get the job done. Thevenard take on the Blue Boys, and Brad Bowman at Thevenard. The Blue Boys have got a chance here to get another win on the board, but Thevy have got to start somewhere. This weekend could be the time against their arch rival.
Yeah, certainly they are. No love lost between these clubs. Thevenard do got to get a win to try and keep in touch with the top 4. I don't know whether they're going to quite have the talent to match Blues, so I'm tipping Blues by 3 goals.
Blues for me as well. And then the match of the round, probably the match of the season so far in Eyre Peninsula football. This one at Penong. The West Coast Hawks crew will head up the highway. They'll go up confident. They're smashing all comers at the moment in Western Eyre football, but they haven't played this Western United side yet, who are the reigning champions and have been so good for so long. This should be a ripping contest.
Yeah, like I said, it is for bragging rights, but it is the clash that everyone's been looking forward to since the mergers come, or the amalgamation of clubs into this league. So, yeah, I still think the Hawks are going to be too good, purely because Western United are missing players, and I just don't know who's going to kick their goals without their forwards. So, the Hawks for me by probably 7 goals.
It's interesting. The Hawks haven't named their side as of this Friday night. Now, they have got the Western United clubs up there, and they don't look like there's too many changes to it. They've got some good players in Shippard and Ma, and also Jake Warmington. They'll look for some drive, and Hoffricker's been in pretty good form too. That's T. Hoffricker. I think you're right, though. Todd Warmington, the old veteran, probably coming off half-back. Kensington might be forced to move forward. I think they don't have at the moment. Price has been a great player over the years, but have they got the goal kicking? Harley Chandler in the middle of the ground will need to rise to the occasion, the young man. Just this Hawks, Dollingwatch, he's kicked, 26 this year, Brad?
Yeah, he's kicked 26, and just depends where he plays. Last week he was exclusively at full forward. The week before when I watched, he was swapping in the middle. So if he's up there all game at forward, well, he could have double figures again.
Oh, wow. Don't reckon they're going to win by that much, but I'm going to tip the West Coast Hawks to still beat Western United. And what do you reckon, Jace?
Yeah, Hawks for me. Yep.
Massive weekend. Brad, any final comments about the first 3 rounds of matches in Western Eyre? Anything coming from the league at the moment?
Not that I can report at this stage, no.
All right.
Good on you, mate.
We'll report a little bit later in this program about Mortlock and news on that. I'll tell you what, Jace, you got some scoop on that?
Well, I don't, but Chris Prime certainly does. He's the man in the know in this area, so he'll be joining us a little bit later on. And don't forget the podcast, where you can catch the whole lot up there on our Facebook page as well, Flow FM Australia. It is the Flow Friday Night Sports Show.
What do N&C Ag stand for? Services on the Upper Eyre Peninsula. They're service agents for parts and repairs.
Yeah, they have genuine new parts or aftermarkets for your red, green or yellow tractor and header.
They're nice and central, and they can get the job done in the workshop or on the farm when you really need it.
That's right, mechanical, auto, electrical, aircons. But what do N&C Ag actually stand for?
Well, you'll have to ask Noel and Christine. Give them a call.
Ask Noel and Christine at N&C Ag Wirrallah. Phone 8626 8042.
Sejuna Metal Solutions. You bring the opportunity, they have the solutions. For all steel, aluminium and stainless steel fabrication and repairs, whether you're farming on the land or on the water, Sejuna Metal Solutions have the right equipment, supplies, knowledge and experience. And don't forget about their cranes. Ready for hire when you need that extra boost. Based in Sejuna with a mobile service that can come to you. Sejuna Metal Solutions. Solutions for all your metal needs. 70 Schwartz Road, Sejuna. Or call 8625 3997.
Killers, the place to get everything you need to enjoy your time in Streaky Bay. You can hire stand-up paddleboards, kayaks and boats for maximum Streaky Bay enjoyment. Also fuel, bait, ice, tackle, fishing, boating and beach supplies and accessories. Check out the Shimano fishing rods, designed by Killers, the Whiting Killer and the Offshore Killer. And before you hit the water or the road, pick up a Killer's delicious bacon and egg sandwich, the Breakfast of Champions, or a freshly made sandwich for lunch. Killers, 48 Wells Street, Streaky Bay.
West Coast Ag, formerly Landmark West Coast, and still more than just ag supplies. They stock a large range of crop protection products, fertiliser, irrigation, fencing, stock feeds, shearing supplies, pet and animal health products, an agent for Bushman tanks and Aaron's field bins. They even have a range of hunting and clay target shooting ammo, scopes and binoculars. See the team for your grain marketing, agronomy and arranging delivery to and from your farm. Locally owned and operated, West Coast Ag, Redding Road, Streaky Bay. Phone 8626 1409.
Buy a new Toyota and it comes with a feature like no other car. It's called the Toyota Service Advantage. That means you pay one low price every logbook service with your cap price servicing. And we've made it super easy to book a service too. Simply book online or via the My Toyota app and you'll be able to find the most convenient time that works for you.
Visit Sejuna Toyota on the corner of Eyre Highway and Hastings Road, Sejuna.
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota. Standard scheduled logbook servicing only. T's and C's apply. Visit toyota.com.au/advantage.
They're your local butcher, Streaky Bay Meat Service. A family-run butcher serving locals with local farm fresh produce from paddock to plate. From their range of small goods and metwurst made on site to their popular range of barbecue packs, hot dogs, their own streaky bacon and locally cured leg ham, Streaky Bay Meat Service take pride in 100% locally sourced and grown products, supplying supermarkets, hotels, clubs and cafes on the West Coast. And would like to thank locals, local businesses and travellers for their ongoing support. Open 8am to 5:30pm. Streaky Bay Meat Service, Wells Street, Streaky Bay.
The Flow FM Sports Show, Eastern Eyre and Great Flinders Football.
It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, repeated 8am till 10am on Saturday morning, when there'll be people hitting the roads all across the EP. If you're driving from Streaky Bay to Penong today, drive nice and safe. There'll be plenty of folks getting around to the lower part of the EP as well, Flowman.
Oh, yes, there will be, as Chris Prime, our resident expert in all things Great Flinders, he has a heap to say about what's coming up in Eyre Peninsula football.
That's right, he does. Now, if you want to hear all of Chris Prime's preview and review of Great Flinders football, you can catch it via our podcast. We've got some cuts of it for you today, in particular focusing in on Elliston districts, and rightly so. They're a big part of our broadcast area. But first, Primey had an exclusive for us, Flowman.
Oh, yes.
An exclusive about the coming Mortlock Shield. Now, we know lots of changes in Eyre Peninsula football and netball this year with the loss of Midwest. What does that mean for the Mortlock Shield? Well, Primey has his finger right on the pulse. Primey, how are you?
Good, Greg. Happy after a week off.
I'll bet. How's the body feeling?
That's still poorly, but yeah, no, I'm still happy after a week off.
Fair enough. Hey, look, before we have a look back at last week's games and what's to come this week, my understanding is in your hot little hand you may have a copy of the Mortlock Shield revised program. Is that right?
I have seen the copy of the program, so it's going ahead with the 5 leagues playing each other once over the 2 days. So shortened games, but everyone plays everyone, so there'll be no discrepancies to who's the best at the end of the day.
Now, there was some talk about the Sharks coming in. That's not going to happen. When you refer to the 5 leagues, I think it's actually 4, but Lincoln always splits in half into districts and cities. Is that right?
That's correct, yep. 2 Lincoln sides and Western Eyre, Eastern Eyre and Great Flinders.
So there'll be basically you'll play 2 games on the Saturday, 2 games on the Monday, and they'll be, I'd imagine, halves rather than full-length quarter matches.
The program says an hour and 10 minutes, so if you say an hour a game, so it's 25-minute quarters and 5 minutes in the middle sort of thing, so 5-10 minutes. So.
And also the addition of a women's clash on the Saturday, is that right?
Yeah, the day's kicking off with a women's match. Probably missed the boat a bit there. I think we could have highlighted it and either slipped it in the middle of the day, so that really became a spectacle rather than putting it in right at the start. And I think you have a bit better crowd and a bit more interest to it if it was in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there, actually. But I'm sure it'll be a thrill for the girls, no matter what, being able to play on or during that Morlock Shield Carnival. Kicking the dew off the ground, though, at 9 o'clock, gee whiz, that's a tough ask.
It is. Like, I've played in a couple of 9 o'clock games, and it's probably the more challenging time to play down at Morlock.
Chris Prime with a bit of an exclusive on the Morlock Shield there, Flowman, and I can tell you as well, I've called a couple of 9 o'clock games at Morlock, and yeah, that's not easy either.
Yeah, I'm not even out of bed at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, so.
But look, Primey also gave us a full rundown of Great Flinders football action from last week. Only 2 games played last week. Elliston Districts had the bye, as did his own beloved Tumby Bay, but they are back in action this week, and he had this to say about Elliston Districts heading to Lock for the first time, where, above all else, Flowman, if you've been to Lock before to watch the footy, you have to get one of their world-famous donuts.
Well famous, and need a set of binoculars too, because she's a big oval out on the Lock ground.
Oh, look, that's one of the highlights of going to Lock, I'm sure, the old donuts there. So, but I actually think Elliston Districts are probably just going to push Lock. It'll be if they can get that early break, they'll get over the top. It's a tough one to pick because they'll be coming from a small oval going to probably the biggest oval in Australia. But, yeah, I think Elliston Districts will clock up their first win for the year.
I remember calling a grand final in the Great Flinders Football League at Lock many years ago now, and it is not an exaggeration to say that at Lock, if you set up across the club room side, if you don't have a set of binoculars to look down the other forward pocket, you've got absolutely no idea what's going on. It is a big, big ground, Primey.
It is, and I think it used to be bigger. They've brought the boundary in on the far wing, quite away from the edge of the oval. I think it used to be right out there, and I felt sorry for the people that were running around there because it's not overly long, but you can get lost on the wings very easily. So that'll be the challenge for Elliston Districts when they go there.
They used to joke they didn't send the runners out to deliver messages there at Lock. They sent out the search party to try and find people. But I think it will be an eye-opener for the Elliston boys, as you say, who are used to that small oval there. I'm not sure if that'll have any say on the result. It might. I don't think there'll be much in it between these two, to be quite honest.
No, it will be a very tight game. It's hard to tip, but I'm hoping that Elliston Districts get up to their first win.
So we wish Elliston Districts all the best, Flowman, as they head down to Lock for the first time. Good luck to them. And again, if you want to hear the full Great Flinders preview with Chris Prime, check our podcast. We'll give you the details later on, but you can find it wherever you get your podcasts from.
You can, and also on the new Flow Facebook page, Flow Sports.
Indeed. Now, Eastern Eyre football, of course, Jared Sampson for the Central United Storm. I've absolutely butchered that. What is it?
Central Eyre United Storm.
I don't know anymore. I'm totally confused. What are they called again?
The Storm, but they got a blue colour that's about the same as the old blue in the Bulldogs colour.
Central Eyre United Storm. Sorry, Jared, I absolutely butchered that. But they had a clean sweep last week, Flowman, and I can tell you it started with the Junior Colts.
Yeah, it was a ripper game to start the day. The wind wreaked havoc on the poor little fellas on that big Woodner oval. Ball spent a lot of time on the other side of the oval down the bottom end. But, yeah, cracking way to start the day. Plenty of cow crew there, nice and early too, which was good. And, yeah, had there been another 30 seconds, cow might have snuck home, the wind, and ball down in their forward pocket. Thankfully, the siren blew when it did, but ripper way to start the day, mate. Real good game of footy to watch to kick the day off.
Beautiful. Central United's goal kickers, Elliott booted 2, Schultz and Cook, by hook or by Cook. They both booted a goal each. Waters, Ryan, Schultz, Petty and Calante named in their best. Well done to the youngsters getting the day started and kicking the dew. I'm assuming there wasn't any dew on the ground, but whatever dew there was, they kicked it off.
Yeah, no chance of the dew, mate. Plenty of dust on the other hand.
Well, let's talk about the senior Colts now. Central United 11-15-81 over Cal. 5-2-32 solid 49-point victory. Who starred here?
Jacko Petty again, mate. It's handy having him on from Ross Trevor, so he'll be sorely missed when he heads back. But yeah, they mix the teams a bit up during the game and flip Jacko across the Cal, and it's amazing the difference just one player can make. So it's, the score might have ballooned out a bit, but just changing a couple players shows you that it's actually a pretty even comp. And yeah, kids really enjoy playing in their own age group and playing against kids their own age.
Petty, Milan, O'Brien, Ryan and Joseph named the best, and Cretin and Turner, Pentecost and Flavel for Cal. The reserves great, and no one was really quite sure what to make of how the seniors would go. I guess you put all fears to bed in the reserves. You won comfortably 10-4-64 to 3-4-22. First seniors win of the competition, and I'm sure the boys celebrated duly.
Pretty happy with the win there. The boys played quite well. Big Ping Brokey dominating in the middle there. It's good to see him back playing some footy. So hopefully he keeps working on that fitness, and we might see him sneak up into the ones at some stage, hopefully. But Taylor Smucker went back after the first game down at Rudow, and showed he'll be knocking on the door again soon too. So good way to kick off the season for the seniors at home.
May booted 3, Cummings and Wilmot booted 2, Schmucker, Murphy, North, Pingrokey and May named the best for you guys. We get to the A grade, of course, and you guys saluted for the first time in your merged history. A really good win in the end over Cal, who we thought would take it right up to you, but you were too good on your home deck. 13-3, accurate in front of goal, 81 to Cal, just 1 goal, 6-12.
Good win. Pretty happy with the result, actually. Surprised to walk away with the win we did, but they had plenty of boys out by the sounds of it from their week before against the Rangers. So I imagine it'll be a different story next time we play them. It wasn't a great day for injuries. Neither of us ended up with anyone on the bench by the end of it. So tough slog in the breeze, but forward handled it exceptionally well. Some pretty good kicking. So pretty happy with that result. Great way to finish off the day.
Good job from Tyler Chapman in front of goal as well. He booted 5 on the day. Winter 2, Lim 2, and then a host of singles. But your best was Stringer, Waters, both Waters boys. Heath, Tyler Chapman, of course, and Lim. But Jesse Stringer just leading by example. Best on ground again, going beautifully early.
Between him and young Corey Waters, couldn't split them in the votes. They're exceptional on Saturday. 2 Waters boys, actually. Tough as nails, those two. And, they're both really excited to be playing in the new league this year and with some mates in Woodness. Great to see them on the track and really show them what they've got.
So a big week for the Storm last week, their first home game, Flowman, and those Waters boys will have to be right up to it this week when they head to Kimber. That's the game we're going to preview in a moment.
Yeah, those Tigers are probably one of the great sides on Eyre Peninsula football, being a powerhouse of Eastern Eyre, and now we get the Central Eyre boys get the powerhouse of Eastern Eyre.
Jared Sampson had this to say about this Saturday's game.
All exciting stuff. So, get to come up against them. They've been the yardstick in that league for a long time now. Looking forward to the challenge. Got a couple of injuries to cover, but at the same token, that gives some young fellas a chance to step up and have a crack. So it's nice to have the numbers to cover those injuries when they come. Really looking forward to getting out there on the weekend and seeing what they're all about.
Who are the boys fighting over the job for Burger Fitzgerald? Oh, they'd be lining up for that one, wouldn't they?
Adam Jericho holds our fullback pretty well, mate. He's quite a down defender, quite strong. So Brandon Waters slipped in the centre half-back on the weekend and made the position his own. So not sure where we'll go. We'll see whether a field is dropping the hole or not.
Dropping in the hole in front of Big Burger Fitzgerald, Flowman, not for me. No, not for me.
Well, do you reckon you'd survive it with that huge big yellow horse rug that you are wearing?
Good luck to our Central Eyre United boys in Kimber this weekend. It is the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. Barossa Light and Gawler football next with Kim Vivian. That's coming up after
Elders
this.
West Coast at Woodner and Seduna are your local real estate specialists. Talk to Elaine Seal about listing and selling rural, commercial and residential properties in Woodner. Elliston, Venus Bay, Ceduna, Smoky Bay and Penong. For property management, see Donnie L. Smart, while Michael Seal is your insurance specialist on the EP. Ask about our rural bank facilities with friendly face-to-face service. Elders West Coast, your local banking, insurance and real estate specialists. Elders West Coast, supporting local communities.
Reap the benefits of concentrated, cost-effective liquid fertiliser this season with Liquid Ag. Locally manufactured on the Eyre Peninsula from the highest quality raw materials, supplying a range of sulfates, organic chelates, nitrogen solutions and water conditioners. Available now either individually or as a custom blend tailored to fit your farm's pre- and post-seeding nutritional requirements. With on-farm delivery, talk to Tim or Micah about Liquid Ag's fertiliser products. Visit liquidag.com.au.
Since 1974, Tundari have been providing parts and service for all types of farm machinery, including tractors, haymaking, spray equipment, vineyard equipment, and general merchandise used by farmers. Surrounded by a diverse range of agriculture, the team at Tundari know and understand the land, along with the experience and expertise you need. Agents for BOC gases, white span sheds, FMR, high-tech fertilisers, and Trans Tank International. Call in soon, see the showroom and impressive on-site displays, or visit tundari.com.au. Tundari Sales and Service, Barossa Valley Way, Gawler East.
You think wine and tranquility. We think crushing footy.
The Barossa Light and Gawler Footy League.
Yes, the Flow Friday night sports show continues on. Barossa Light and Gawler football threw up some very interesting results last week. Vivian joins us on the line now to help us go through some of them. G'day, mate. How are you?
Good, thanks, guys. Yourselves?
Yeah, we're really good, Kimbo. Hey, I tell you what, we said that when Justin Westhoff joined Tanunda, how good were they going to be and who could beat them? Well, Anguston, 16-12, 108, had different thoughts about Tanunda's star player. They beat Tanunda 10-7, 67, if you don't mind, Kim.
Yeah, good result. I think we mentioned last week it was going to be a close one, but I think, as we're talking off air, your sides in any game of football, really, you're probably only as strong as your last 4 or 5 players selected. So I think Anguston's got some pretty good depth, and one player doesn't make a team.
No, that is true, and the tail of the tape here really is one quarter got absolutely trounced Tanunda in the third quarter. Anguston kicked 8 goals, 7 to 1 point for the quarter, and from that point on it was all she wrote. Tanunda actually led at half-time by 9 points, but Jay Shannon booted 5 goals for Panthers, and as Durden booted 4 as well, so they had a host of options up front for Tanunda. Smith booted 3, and the F. Smith, so we've got B. Smith booting 3, F. Smith booting 2, and Snowden booted 2 as well. So they shared their goals around both sides, but really that one quarter killed them.
Yeah, look, like we say in football, and it's been a saying for a long time that the third quarter is a premiership quarter. So, you win that quarter well, and if you're up with the game at that point, you're generally going to win the game. Okay,
Kim, we talked about the new coach at Williston, Andrew Jarman. He had a couple of home wins. He didn't have one away, but he now does 12-13-85 to beat Barossa District 7-4-46. It was regulation in the way in which they won. They went away with it after an even first quarter.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't be based on sort of the losses out of the kennel up at Barossa there. I wouldn't be writing too much home about that victory. I think it's one they probably were expected to win and probably didn't win by as much as what most people thought. So nothing against Barossa, but we know they're sort of in a rebuilding phase. I'd be probably a bit more concerned with that victory than I would be pleased.
Probably the big news, away from goal kickers and best players and whatnot here, for Barossa District, news through the week from the council that the Footy and Netball Club are looking to move down to Lindock at the new facility that's going to be built there. That's big news.
Oh, look, it's been talked about for probably 2 or 3 years, I think, and it generally gets watered down at different times when it starts to get traction. The money that I've had over the years is that the Barossa Rams Rugby Club has a fairly solid lease on that oval, so they need to work in around that program. So I don't know. Look, it'd be maybe a good move for the club because I don't think anyone enjoys playing at Williamstown Oval at the back end of winter. and development, grant money, things like that. They can probably do some good things out at Lindop.
Yeah, it's interesting. The Barossa Council are gung-ho about it. They've actually issued a press release about exactly that and named the Barossa Football and Netball Club as coming out there.
Yeah.
So they're not messing around here. It'll be interesting to see if that actually happens. But
I'll tell you what, you're right on it. And I was going to get you to do the best players, but I've had a look at a couple of them. Thank you. And what about Williston's second best player?
Yep, Pretorius.
No, Petra Hillis.
Petra Hillis, okay. Yeah, Pretorius.
He was the second best. Elborough and Fry and Petra Hillis booted 2 for Williston, and Tobin was the multiple goal scorer for Barossa District. I think you threw you under the bus good and proper there, but Kim Vivian, Gawler Central were thrown under the bus by the Kapunda Bomber Boys at Kapunda, 12-11, 83 to 9-16, 70. Are your boys out of Gawler, who won the flag last year in the abridged season, are you a bit shell-shocked from the celebration because the Bomber Boys have shown something here?
No, look, as I said last week, it was a game that could go either way. Our boys weren't overly confident. Well, I wouldn't. Our boys weren't overconfident. I know that tomorrow, I think, from their grand final side last year, and no excuses, but I think they've probably got 11 out that will front up tomorrow. So they are struggling in testing their depth. The B grade only had 19 to pick from this week. So, yeah, they've got a lot of injury concerns there. But, you've got to have depth in footy if you're going to go deep into finals, and that's going to test us out.
That's true. You had this game, I won't say in control, but you led comfortably at half-time, 17 points up, the better part of 3 goals. They'd come back at you in the third quarter, Kapunda, to have it all tied up, and then went on with it. Momentum in that second quarter, 8 goals to just 2 in the second half. So the Bombers did enough in that second half. Obviously, a few tired boys from your lads.
Oh, absolutely, and it's an Kapunda aren't a side that anyone would want to take easy this year. They're up and about. They're hard to beat on their own hill. They always have been. And again, we look back. It's the third quarter again that's push the results that way.
Yeah, 6 goals to 1. And Bell with 3 of them, and Evans and Mudge and Matters all booted 2. Evans, Ryan and White, the better players. Good to see that the boy Dodd, who's the star from Sturt, he kicked a goal, but they didn't need to rely on him to win this game for them. And I think it's a good sign they're spreading the workload at the Bomberland. Mercer with 3, that's Brad, and Worst with a couple, and Molyneux, Worst and Schulz also went okay on the day. And this is the big one, though.
Oh, jeez.
Poor old Freeling. This is South Gawler at its best, but Freeling not the opposition they once were. 34-25, 229 to Freeling, 139. Kim, I guess not a lot we can say about the Freeling side except old Sammy Carmichael kicked their only goal. And young Lloyd, to come down from Blythe Snowtown, he's a star from the North Eastern Football League, won the medal up there about 3 seasons ago. So that's all they've got. Big Koshaw needs to probably do more, but Freeling not a lot to say, not a lot to do.
No, look, it's quite sad, really. I don't think we've seen blowouts of that magnitude in this comp for many, many years. It's always been, from top to bottom, the gap has been far narrower than it is at the moment. So, I feel for the Freeling guys. They're doing it hard. They didn't field senior teams last year because of COVID, and were concerned about being able to get the numbers up during that period. So it's probably having a flow-on effect this year. So, do feel for the coaching staff, the players and the club out there. And they've just got to stick with it and work hard, I think. That's all we can do.
Due to time constraints, if you didn't kick 4 goals, you don't get a mention. Burton 6, Cutting 6, Whitworth 5, Goulding 4.
Okay, we're heading now to round 5 of the BLNG. It's a very important round as teams start to put up their hand for finals, and Anguston play Williston. How do you see this, Kim? It looks like on the Anguston Hillbilly Hill, I reckon they'll be too good for Williston.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think after last week's results, Williston have shown enough to show that they can actually roll Anguston on their own hill. Assuming they've got a fully fit side, I think Anguston comfortably.
I think so too. At Freeling, I don't think we'll see the cricket score that we saw last week with Barossa District coming to town, but you'd think the Bulldogs probably would still be a touch too good for Freeling.
Look, match of the round, this one. Get the radio out there, match of the round.
Right, we're heading out there, Flowman.
All right, you and me. Gawler Central, what about this match of the round? I reckon this is the game of the round if you don't like the Barossa battle below it, but Tanunda and Newry play each other too. Gawler Central play South Gawler. Kim, you just said you're a bit short of players, and was that rumour true that there was a visit to the Peter Vivian Insurance Services from the B-grade coach, and he asked you if you would pull on the boots in the reserves this weekend?
No, the B-grade coach did come across to me at training last night, and I was just smidgenly concerned, and then he said, I'm going to need some of your players from the under-17. So that was snuffed out very quick. I'm one of those now. I'm a realist. I know that the body can no longer do it. So, yeah, we are struggling a little bit for numbers. Look, to give an unbiased opinion, if I was tipping without a Gawler Central hat on, I think South Gawler are going to win tomorrow, only because we're going to be tested with our depth, and I think South are up and about and going pretty nicely at the minute.
Oh, God.
Might be looking to extract some modicum of revenge for the big day in September last year, but one thing you know about grand final replays is if you've lost the grand final, doesn't matter whether you win or lose, really. It doesn't make you feel much better.
It doesn't. I can say this, but Tanunda take on Newry for our final game. And Kim, this is going to be a beauty. Newry might see themselves as a chance, but on that little Tanunda Oval, it's dry up there and hard. Oh, it's going to be a tough afternoon for both sides. I think Tanunda will get home here.
Yeah, look, I think it'll be a close one again with this one as well, but I think home deck, home advantage, probably depth. Again, we look at that word depth of talent, and maybe Tanunda have probably just got that, but don't be surprised because Newry have probably got some good up-and-coming youngsters that you can't dampen the enthusiasm of youth. So it'll be a close one, but Tanunda just.
Magpies for me as well, Flowman.
Yes, I tell you what, when that reserves coach actually came over and spoke to Kim, he'd actually previously rung Kylie, Kim's wife, and she'd given the go-ahead, but clearly Kim hasn't got the go-ahead here at all going. Kim, you get yourself warmed up. I reckon they'll still need you in the twos.
They may do, but I'll be, after my game, I'll be up celebrating the Past Players Day, so I'll be no good.
Fair enough, too.
Great to Gawler Central. The past players are going to be there against South Gawler. Kim Vivian, good to talk to you.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Family owned and operated, Jury's Liquid Waste are your local experienced and trusted waste management service provider. From grease trap and holding tank cleaning to septic tank maintenance and the supplying and installing of septic tanks, along with sullage tank cleaning, upgrading soakage systems, winery waste management and general earthworks. Jury's Liquid Waste are also Rytreat, Biocycle and Envirocycle specialists. Residential, commercial or industrial with a team of knowledgeable EPA licensed qualified professionals. Call Jury's Liquid Waste today, 85639190. That's 85639190.
For over 20 years, Cad's Truck and Diesel have specialised in all facets of truck, bus and four-wheel drive diesel engines repairs and servicing. The team at Cad's takes pride in quality and thorough workmanship, customer service and competitive prices. Qualified and experienced mechanics operate a large workshop with modern equipment and technology, including a truck brake tester and suspension shaker. Proudly SA owned. See the boys keeping you and your business on the road. Cad's Truck and Diesel. Lot 55, Stockwell Road, Angaston. Call 85642 470 or visit cadstruckanddiesel.com.au.
Tackle there. Oh, what a great leg.
Yorke Peninsula footy.
Yes, so it is the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. Yorke Peninsula football results from last weekend's round of matches. Let's get straight into it. And we're going to have a look at, there was some very interesting games played. Now I think we can we see them? Yeah, there we can. Okay, very good. Central Yorke, that's where we're going to start, 11-9-75. I had a thrilling win over Butte, 10-10-70, so less than a kick in it. And Central Yorke boys, too good there. Wallaroo, no good at all against the CMS Crows, who are just flogging all comers right now, Flowman.
Yeah, they are.
2019, 139 to 6-4-40. The Southern Eagles, 11-5-71 over Kadina, 7-13-55. And Pascaville, 12-10-82. They went down to Moonta in a thriller, 12-12-84, just 2 points in it at Pascaville Oval. The home ground wasn't enough to help them over the line. Flowman Ardrossan, big Sammy Jacobs. You're wondering why he's not on tonight? Well, he had the bye last week. The Crows, of course, had a Saturday flogging against his old club GWS, and we won't see him running around for Ardrossan this weekend either, Flowman.
No, unfortunately for them. And
Showdown.
He's going to be out there for the showdown, and he's going to be providing a fair bit of assistance. He comes up on the big screen too. I noticed when I was there that he does his little bit, so I'm sure that it's pre-recorded, but I mean it's a great thing that he's actually around the league and bringing something back to the club after such a distinguished career. Having a look at the Adelaide Plains competition, and it is an absolute ripper of a season. Actually, we might go back to the Yorke Peninsula and just have a look at
this
the
week's
games.
games.
Yeah, that was probably something that we should cover off on, and it's such an important week. This is round 4 action. The Crows get Paskey. This is hard to pick. These two sides, only at Caramalka.
Crows?
I think so. Only because it's showdown week. And,
No, the Crows will win.
And Paskey are black and white
That's
too,
right.
by the way. So
Maitland Oval, Central York, the Southern Eagles.
It's a showdown.
It is. I think the Southern Eagles.
Maitland Oval, I'll go with Central York.
Okay.
Moonta and Kadina, that's a showdown.
Well, it is of sorts.
Yeah.
Moonta at home.
I'm going to go with Moonta at home, and Wallaroo and Ardrossan. That's actually the two wharf towns. So you've actually got the jetties in both locations, the big silos at Wallaroo and the silos at Ardrossan, and one big Sam Jacobs silo too.
That's right. Well, my understanding is that Sammy's not playing this week.
Yep.
So if that's the case, Wallaroo.
All right, T's gone that way. Let's have a look at Adelaide Plains, and this is a very interesting look at last weekend's matches. And Angle Vale did United. Gee, poor old Long Plains.
Yeah, they're copying it. But Angle Vale, we used to seeing scores like this kicked against them. 33-19, 2-17. Goodness me, they had lots of pain that they dished out on the boys from Tigerland, 7-10-52. Wow. What do we make of this, Flo, man? The Angle Vale boys are up and about. And
yes.
Goals everywhere.
And Kovacic with 9 was magnificent. And Noto. No, I didn't get that right. Or Noto.
Noto?
Yep,
4,
he was pretty good. And 18 goals, 16 to Balaclava, beating Hamley Bridge, 6 goals, 15. Gee, the Ballack boys have come out to play here, and we've been a little critical of their early season form, but not on this particular occasion. They've done pretty well. And Malala, 22-18, 150, have beaten Hummocks Watchmen, 3-1-19. What has happened to Hummocks Watchmen Eagles this year? They are coming off being 2019 up the top there. What have you seen go wrong there?
Well, they're not winning. They're not kicking goals, Flo, man. Speaking of not kicking enough goals, Virginia 6 goals, 844. 2 Wells, 29-17, 191. To be honest with you, Flo, man, I think Adelaide Plains football's in big trouble.
Yeah, there's some thumpings here. There's really powerful sides that have got too many good players. I mean, Edmead with 6 goals and Barrett with 5, and Barnett with 5, and Rigney with just a couple for his side for Virginia. They just don't have the cattle at Virginia. But again, 2 Wells thrash Virginia in big score. Malala thrash Hummocks with a big score. It's Balaclava by 14, 12, 13 goals, and then you've got Angle Vale by a cricket score. So that's not good for this league. But let's have a look at round 4, who's playing who, and we get Balaclava and Angle Vale, and you reckon that this is probably going to be a very good match of football with both sides having big wins last week.
It's probably a perfect round, really, when you look at who's matched up against who down the track. We'll talk about the other games in a minute, but at Balaclava Oval, I'm going for the home side.
I reckon that they will win at home, and I think United take on Virginia. I'll tip Virginia still to beat Long Plains. Gee, I reckon they're struggling, even though they'll be on their home deck, the Tigers.
Yep, I can't see any reason why it won't be Big Nicholas who gets the job done for Virginia if they can give him some service. Hummocks Watchman Eagles at Port Wakefield Oval. They will welcome Hamley Bridge to town, and I don't know who's going to win this one. I really don't.
Well, Hamley's form is a little bit up and down. Hummocks Watchman's been mainly down. I'm going to tip a little upset here. I wonder whether Hamley Bombers might just be primed ready for a win away, and to get this could be the game that sees a side emerge as one of the best of the rest, if that makes sense.
Maybe. I can understand the tip, but 2 Wells and Malala, match of the round stuff at 2 Wells Oval this, and I think the Roosters might crow on at the end of the day.
Oh, I think they're going to be really out there and at it. A quick look at Northern Areas of football for this weekend, and if you'd like to hear the podcast of Spud Mackay
now,
talking
I've got to say, yes, the great Graham Spud Mackay, I caught up with him on Thursday evening. We got the podcast podcast up on our social media channels and where you get it on Spreaker. We talk at length about these, but we don't have the time, unfortunately, in the program tonight. So we're going to fly through this as quick as we can. Orroroo were too good, 16-15, 111. Crystal Brook, 2-3-15. Unbelievable scorelines, these. Broughton Mundura, 17-19, 121. Southern Flinders, 2-2-14. I really thought Southern Flinders would put up a better effort than this.
Yeah.
And Jamestown Peterborough, out of the three losers for the round, actually put up the highest score, 3 goals, 5-23, against BMW, 23-13, 151. All blowouts, all a concern.
Yeah, I think so. And this country football, we got these comps, these further out comps where some have just got the depth and been able to put good sides out for years. Jamestown Peterborough, not in that case. They'll take Crystal Brook on, and I got a reckoning here that Brook will win this and win it well.
Well, they should, but I don't know. They're not playing good footy at the moment, Crystal Brook, so you'd think Capitola and their forward line should probably be enough to get the job done.
So. Yep.
Broughton Mundura against BMW. BMW need to shine at home. They need to put up a good performance. At the moment, it's a race in two. Broughton Mundura should win, but let's hope BMW give a good account of themselves.
And Orroroo, I think, will beat Southern Flinders. And we thought at the start of the year, you made a good point before, even those at Wirrabara, which is their home deck, the Stonehart people will come in there and they'll have some wonderful times celebrating there over the bar and with the pie warmer. But Orroroo will come down there, and I think they're going to beat them and beat them comfortably.
You'd get that impression. Last week they failed dismally against Broughton Mundura Southern Flinders, so you couldn't tip them in this one.
You couldn't. It is time for us to continue moving on, and in a moment we've got Northeastern footy.
For over 20 years, Cad's Truck and Diesel have specialised in all facets of truck, bus and four-wheel drive diesel engines repairs and servicing. The team at Cad's takes pride in quality and thorough workmanship, customer service and competitive prices. Qualified and experienced mechanics operate a large workshop with modern equipment and technology, including a truck brake tester and suspension shaker. Proudly SA owned. See the boys keeping you and your business on the road. Cad's Truck and Diesel, Lot 55, Stockwell Road, Angaston. Call 85642 470 or visit cadstruckanddiesel.com.au.
Imagine sitting and watching weeds and pests multiply because you can't get the AgChem products you need in time. And when you do get them, you've paid too much and now you've lost yields, time and money. For over 60 years, AW Vater & Co. have been an independent and unbiased AgChem provider and a partner that has your back. With sheds full of stock, they can supply at competitive prices when others can't, so you can get back to farming without wasting time or money. Contact family-owned and operated AW Vater & Co. today, where you're not a number, you're part of the family. Saddleworth, Kadina or visit awvater.com.au.
Larwood's Ag Services, 40 years of building business in the farming industry by trust and dedication. Larwood sell quality agricultural machinery from Case IH, MacDon, K-Line, Grizzly, Merlot and now Equaliser and much more. With dealerships in Kadina and Maitland providing exceptional service and advice time and time again. Contact the Larwood sales team today on 8821 1999 or pop into the Kadina dealership to see one of the dedicated salesmen. Larwood's, helping you get the most from your season, soil, seed and machinery.
Find your perfect coastal escape on Yorke Peninsula, one of SA's favourite holiday spots and coastal playgrounds with Country Getaways Holiday Rentals. With a broad range of self-contained property styles priced from budget to luxury, COVID-19 aware, including locations with more accommodation next door or close enough for families and friends to get away together. Plan your next getaway for school holidays, a long weekend, Christmas or January. From Port Broughton in the north to Foul Bay in the south, book direct and save. Buy local and support a South Australian business. Talk to locally owned Country Getaways. Visit countrygetaways.com.au.
In the mid-north, what's bigger than our legendary sheep and wool brands? On Saturday, we're playing for more than sheep stations. Northeastern Football League.
It is the Flow Friday Night Sports Show at Northeastern Footy into round 3 this weekend. Round 2 of matches last week, and there were some beauties across the competition. Joining us on the line to tell us all about the round that was Peter Meyer is parked on the tractor, I believe. Any rain up your way, Peter?
No rain, and I've just shipped them a bit of hay around, so that's fine.
Fair enough.
They'll be shifting some hay around up there at the BBH at Burra and Hallett because they've won the game over Blythe Snowtown 12-13-85 to 10-8-68. A massive win there for the BBH Rams at home, Peter.
Yeah, it's a very good win for BBH Rams. They've got 14 new players in that side, and I've seen them play a bit against BSR the week before, and there's only a matter of them blending together a bit better, could get to know one another, and I guess that's what happened home at the Borough Oval. They certainly improved again, so I heard, and they were able to get over the top of Blythe Snowtown, who they're relying a bit on their older players and so forth, and they're just knocking on the door at the moment.
I think the Breeze has played a role here. 7 goals to 1 start set this game up for BBH. Then, of course, Blythe Snowtown, it was their turn with the Breeze. They brought it back to just 15 points at half-time. BBH kicked away again in the third term, and the Cats came home with a wet sail. They kicked 5 goals to 2 in the final term, but it wasn't enough. So well done to BBH. Smythe booted 4 for them. Webster 2, Drew 2, Newton, Hutchinson, Webster and Drew named in their best. Darling booted 3 for the Cats. Clifford 2 with Fullis, Pratt, Imey and Ottens named in their best.
Yep, they weren't at their best. They've lost Caleb Lloyd, who's gone down to play with Freeling, and he's a big loss, a medalist in this Northeastern Football League previous years. What about this win from BSR, though, Peter? It's 24-19 over South, 6-8. These two played off in a grand final. So what's happened down at South, Peter?
Well, I guess you could put it down to the COVID transfer of players and that last year. They picked up a few players from that. Also, Scott Brand, that coached them last year, he's a couple of family issues, so he's going to have to stay home and look after his family. So that sort of reflected a bit on probably their start. They were expecting him to be back, and I thought against North Clare the previous week they were pretty competitive. In fact, for the first quarter they probably should have got more score on the board, but against BSR they looked flat, were undisciplined, and just weren't in the game. BSR played a very good game of footy, and from the previous week they certainly leapt forward in their procedure, the way they delivered the ball into the forward line.
Well, Moller and Longbottom basically teamed up to beat South Clare. They booted 10 goals between them, 5 each. Cousins 3, Longbottom, that's another one. C, Longbottom, booted 2, and Topfer booted 2 along with Harsma, then a host of singles. Harsma, Moller, Longbottom, the M variety, Hayes and C Hayes and L Hayes. Hayes and Longbottoms everywhere for BSR, named in the best. South Clare, Falconer booted 2, Dean 2, Dinning, Grigg, Moller, Dean and Falconer. Goodness me, there's Falconers and Deans everywhere in South Clare as well. I'm seeing double flow, man.
You are. It might be that yellow coat that you're wearing, but Minman 14-15-99 beat North Clare 6-11-47. And I'll tell you what, Peter Meyer, this is Minman coming back to their best.
Oh, yes, they're on the improve. Last week they had to travel down to Riverton and probably found the big oval and early in the season a bit of a strenuous exercise, but certainly at their home ground they were very up and about, and I see there was a great ruck crash between Shahinga and Riggs, and Minman were able to get on top and finish off with a very good win against North Clare. North have improved, and they'll be around the mark with a bit more under the belt, and I think they found Minman at home just a bit tough.
Yeah, they'd probably put this to bed at half-time, Minman. They were 8-10 to 2-8 up at half-time, but you'd have to question the goal-kicking there for both sides. There's some work to do. Lloyd was good enough to kick straight 3 times. And I don't know about the rest, Flowman. You've got them in front of you?
Yes, a very good player was Lloyd Wolford, a 3-goal effort from him and the 2 Sando brothers with a couple, and Ruska with a couple too. And great to see one of the other Sando lads played in the reserves after that terrible car accident, back playing in Minman, and that's really good news for all Eagles fans and Northeastern Footy League fans. And finally, in the NEFL, we had a big one for the RSMU Hawks, 12-3-75. The Southern Saints 1964, and Peter Meyer, is it that the Southern Saints nemesis side is the Hawks? It just seems they can't get over them.
Yes, RSMU played on their home ground last week, big oval, and Robertstown's not too small either, and I think they like those big ovals. They get them, move the ball down to the centre of the ground and bring it back into the centre centre a lot of times, and that sets them in good stead. But they've second year under their coach Krause, and I think they are probably a bit of the dark horse. They've got some good players still in that side, Eyre and those type of guys, good leaders, and I think they stood out and got them over the line over at Robertstown. They got away to a good start, and the Southern Saints, they sort of pegged them back towards the end, but weren't quite good enough. Went down by 8 points or so.
You're exactly right. 7 goal up at the half, RSMU. Southern Saints 4-2-26, RSMU 11-2-68. They'd only boot one more goal for the second half, RSMU, but the Southern Saints kicked themselves out of it. After half-time, they would boot 5 goals, 8. Probably should have won, 19 scoring shots to 15. So the Saints, that's one that got away from them, I think. The Hardy booted 6 prior to Schmidt, Hardy, Lorna and Lorna, both all named in the best there. And Michaelaney. Yeah, there you go. He booted 4. Milne booted 3, and Milne, Hare, and Hire and Slee and Shanger, the big man, named in the best for them.
And Micah Van Loon too, the boy from the West Coast.
They're making it easy.
Oh, they love these hard ones for you, mate. But I'll tell you what, this is a big round 3 clash. It's BBH Rams taking on RSMU at Borough. Another home deck for the Borough boys. How do you see this, Peter Meyer?
Well, if Borough continues to improve and being on their home deck and, some players in there that RSMU haven't seen, so, they'll be very competitive, there's no doubt about that. And they were in the first game against BSR at Spalding. I watched that a bit, and they were very competitive early. But I think in the long run, the experience of RSMU and probably a few steady heads around the place will probably get RSMU over the line, but there won't be much in it.
All right, it's a must-win for the Southern Saints taking on North Clare. And Jace, North Clare at home will be a much more formidable outfit, but do you think, I reckon the Saints can win this over there?
I think they can too. I'm going to tip the Saints. What do you reckon, Peter?
Yeah, I think the Saints will probably beat North at Clare. The Saints will, I think Schmidt will have them a bit more fired up this week to perform early, and going to Clare, I reckon they'll probably come out on top. North will be competitive again. They've got some good young players around the place, Helbig and Rose back there and those type of things. So, they'll be competitive for a long way through the game, but I think the overall stability and the experience of Southern Saints will get them over the line.
At Mintaro, Minman, the home side, they'll beat South Clare, who will come up the highway and probably be sent packing with their tail between their legs.
Yes, well, they'd certainly want to get there with a bit better attitude than they had last week and a bit more oomph to play the game. So, and Minman, after their first win last week, they'll certainly be on the lookout and the prowl now. I see Rusker as well up in the best players. Good player, Steve Rusker, and Sando, leader. So, I don't think they'll let this one slip out of their clutches, and I think Minman win, reasonably easy in the end.
BSR take on Blythe Snowtown at Red Hill. It's actually a close one for the Blythe Snowtown folk, because Red Hill's just up the road. And for some of the BSR people, their home deck, it's a long road trip, but this one, Peter.
Oh, yes, they've got to travel from Brinkworth, other side of Spalding and everything else. But then it's good for the Red Hill people to have the game at home. And this game, the Blythe Snowtown BSR games are always close, and it's for the Broughton Cup this weekend. So always the first match of the home and away season is the Broughton Cup weekend, because there's old teams that were in the Broughton League. But on the Red Hill deck, Blythe Snowdown will be competitive for a fair way into the game, but I think the overall experience and probably a bit more player depth will probably get BSR over the line with their young players, Moller and Longbottom and Cousins and those performing very well. And just for interest's sake, the two Hayes boys' father and the mother of the 3 Longbottom boys that play are brothers and sisters, so...
Stop it!
Certainly related.
Goodness me.
Oh, that is keeping it in the family.
They better not hyphenate, that would be terrible.
Up that way, it's always in the family. It's great to have you on board, though. Peter Meyer, giving us all the history of the families and the North Eastern Footy League report for round 3. We'll catch up with you next time, Peter.
No worries, thank you.
WSB Distributors is the name for great sales and excellent service in the agricultural industry. And after 80 years in the business, we know exactly how to provide for your needs. No matter how big or small, the team at WSB can offer a comprehensive range of sales, parts and service across multiple brands to keep you ahead of the game. See for yourself. For all your agricultural needs and the most up-to-date information, drop into the team at one of our WSB distributors' dealerships in Clare, Jamestown, Saddleworth and Karoonda.
Parky's Hardware Borough are your local Thrifty Link store, supporting your local community. Servicing the hardware needs of the Borough region with expert, easy-to-understand advice from locals you know and trust. With a large range of builders' hardware, supplies, paint for both trade and retail, plus new kitchen and flooring displays with appliances on show. Looking for your hardware solution at a competitive price? Look no further than the store that supports your local community. Parky's Hardware Borough, 20 Commercial Street.
Cooper's Butchers in Borough are proudly local, supporting the community by employing people in the Borough region and supplying you with fresh, quality produce, including their famous saltbush hogget and locally sourced Wonderbar lamb, barbecue packs, great roasts for winter, and all your ham, pork, bacon, fish and poultry favourites. Proudly supporting the BBH Football and Netball Club and proudly supporting you. Drop into Cooper's Butchers today for a taste of local, 2 Market Square, Borough.
Most farmers struggle for decent returns from their crops, their livestock and their grain. AW Vater & Co give growers the best supply, service and support from seed to silo, helping to maximise profits and grow a prosperous farm for generations. You deserve more reward for effort and the security of a partner in agriculture who has your back, fighting for you, whether it's changing market prices or product and supply shortages. Contact family-owned and operated AW Vater & Co today, where you're not a number, you're part of the family. Saddleworth, Kadina or visit awvater.com.au.
Step out of that mirage and into Tam's White Hart Garage. They've been around so long, 103 years and still going strong. There to lend a hand to the man on the land for all diesel and petrol repairs, showing you who really cares. Welding, repairing and fabricating, take it to Tams before it gets frustrating. 889 22281. Tams White Hart Garage gets it done. 9 Young Street, Borough. Get there in a hurry.